Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Um, and this movie review, well, of course, you see I'm wearing my Goosebumps hat. I'm just trying to wear different hats than other videos, so change up a bit. Some hats I've worn a bit, so worn it for that reason. Yeah, for this movie review, we review a film, another action film that overall I do enjoy. I do like the film overall. It was one of my favorite films of 2013, and it is The Last Stand, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this is the first film that Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in the lead role since in 2003 when he starred in Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. So yeah, that was his last lead role, and then 10 years later, this film came out, Last Stand, and I do overall I do enjoy the film. I do. I like the film. There was a lot of good things I like about the film, but of course has like a couple of problems though, But I do like the film overall. It's directed by Kim Jee-woon. Kim Jee-woon. He's directed for the films that he's directed. He directed a film called I Saw the Devil. I think that was a film in 2010. I Saw the Devil. I think that was that I haven't seen I Saw the Devil, but I have heard about it. But I haven't seen it, but I have heard about it. And also among the cast, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars Forrest Whitaker, Johnny Knoxville, Jamie Alexander, who played Lady Sith in Thor, Louise Guzman, and Peter Stormare. Now I was looking when I first saw the trailer to this. I was looking forward to it, and the trailer looks good, It was like indicating this was Arnold's big return to the big screen, in the lead, Well, of course, he's, before they started, his cameo appearance in the first Expendables, and then a little bit more in the second sequel, though. So, but it's before 2013, But it was like his big. It was like his big return in the lead role, in this starting of this action-packed film. I won't call it action. That was it's not wall to wall action, It's not really that action-packed, but it still has some action. Has action, though, but not that action-packed, though. That was a wrong choice of word that I said there. And the film came out on January 18th, So the film came out in January, and of course, a lot of films don't do good when it's released in January or early on in the year, like January or February, And when over the weekend, and I was surprised the film did not do well over the weekend. When it came out, this film debuted at number 9, and I was like, what? This film did horrible over the weekend. It bombed. It bombed here. It bombed in the U.S. Domestically. It made a mediocre 12 million made 12 million domestically in North America. And overall it made 48 million. I believe it was a budget. It was like 45 million, 40 to 45 million. Well, from looking on what the budget was, it was like either between 35 to 45 million. I think the right budget is 45 million. I believe that. Yeah. And the film didn't do well, sadly, And I was like, because now out of Arnold's new films that he's been starring, this has been the only good film that he starred in. I did not like Escape Plan. I did not, and I hated Sabotage. Um, I have not seen Maggie, which had some interest because it's supposed to be him in technically in a zombie film, but it's also a little bit drama to it, as well, you know. So I haven't seen that yet, but I don't think it's not playing well because it has a limited release. So, but those two of those new films he starred in, Sabotage and Escape Plan, did not like them. So yeah, well, this has been the only good film he's been starring in recently. Well, of course, his appearance in Expendables 3, as well. It was pretty much also in a nothing role as well. So yeah, this has been the only good film that he's been starring since he came back to the big screen. In the lead role. But yeah, and that sucked. This film bombed. I really did like the film. And I can't believe it. When I first heard about it, it had such a horrible weekend. I was like, what? This debuted at number 9 with like 2 million. I don't know. I don't know why, how. It was like his big return, to an action film in the league, and this did horrible. I don't get it. But despite that, it did get some praise, some like positive reviews. It has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 6.4 on IMDb. At least the film got more praise and we got some positive reviews. Despite the film didn't do well at the box office. So yeah, and the film is R-rated. It has some bloody scenes in it, so I do appreciate that. Which I'll get into. So the film opens up with just with a cop car, sitting on the highway, and all of a sudden this car goes speeding through, and it's like on the meter is like 147 miles, and it calls like dispatch, and I was like, tells what was it? Some crazy ass here is driving a jet out here with no lights on, And I also like how the way it shows the title, when the title shows up. I like how the way it shows the map, from Las Vegas going all the way to here, the place in Arizona, and it leads up to here speeding goes right up, going up to the title. I did like that how the way they show the title. And then it shows Arnold in this small town. What was it called? Somerton Junction in Arizona, and he's the sheriff, and and almost like the whole town is going to this big football game, So there's pretty much the whole town, going to this football game, and he goes to the diner, and he sees a couple of guys. One of them is played by Peter Stormare. He suspects something's not right with these two guys, and gets the license plate, driving this truck, And then it cuts to Johnny Knoxville, Luis Guzman, and another guy named Zach Gilford, which I've seen. He was in another horror film called what was it? Devil's Due, and he also appeared in The Purge: Anarchy. So the three guys, the Johnny Knoxville shooting at this big gun, like that big gun right there, shooting at some meat, He's like, oh, that'll put another asshole and elephant right there, boys, And he gives Jerry, Zach Gilford, his name is Jerry, and he gives a shot, but it recoils, hits him in the nose, And then Ray shows up. That's what Arnold's character's name is, Ray. So he has to ask him, where'd you get the license for that monster, and Johnny Knoxville has good thing is M&M's falling out of his pocket, And he's like, you have a museum in here, and and then Arnold goes like, give me that damn thing, you know, and let me have a go before I change my mind, you know. Boom, you know. And even though, like, if you look at the poster, you know, it's kind of look a little bit deceiving, you know. It's like Arnold and Johnny Knoxville together, but Johnny Knoxville together, you know, in the official poster, you know. You only see Johnny Knoxville for a little bit, but you don't like pretty much see him until it gets like to get when they're trying to set up the town, you know. It's like what was like about 25 to 30 minutes or 35 minutes until you don't see Johnny Knoxville, you know. You only see him that a bit at the beginning, and then like skip up like some time, like I would say about maybe it was like 35 minutes, I would say, you know, before they do it to they have to set up the town, and then that's when the next time you see him. So the poster is kind of a little bit deceiving because you're going to see Arnold and Johnny Knoxville together, you know, but you don't see Johnny Knoxville for a little while until they start to set up the town, you know. So so the bad guys, you know, Peter Stormare, he has some other bad guys. He was going to go talk to the farmer, you know, just because the farmer's a problem, you know, and he walks up to the farmer. Which is played by Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton, you know, from Alien, Christine, Red Dawn, you know. I thought it was nice to see Harry Dean Stanton, you know. He wants to go talk to him. He's like, hey, I'm shooting a commercial, and your property is a perfect place. And Harry Dean's like, hey, get the hell off my property, you know. And he's like, don't you want to listen what I have to offer? He's like, no. Do you want to hear my offer? And he takes out a shotgun. He's like, now you get your ass out of here, or you get out of my property, or I'll fill your ass full of buckshot, you know. He goes like he fires a warning shot, shoots in front of him. Dust goes up in his face, you know. And it's like, you know, it's like, do you want to take the silver? Better take the lead. Then one guy shoots Harry Dean Stanton in the head, you know. So they think the license, you know, is everything's fine. Everything's check out the license, everything's fine. And also the police station. Jamie Alexander is also a deputy. Her her ex-boyfriend got locked up for breaking and entering, you know, and he was also like drunk and disorderly, you know. He's locked up in the cell, you know. And but he's also a good friend of Jerry as well. So, and while that's going on in Las Vegas, Forrest Whitaker, who is an FBI agent, you know, he has a secret team transferring a criminal who's a cartel boss, you know. Name what was the guy's name? Gabriel Cortez, you know, to transfer him to death row, you know. So they're having the police escort him, you know. They get a stoplight, and a magnet that lifts the van up, you know. Cortez kills the guard inside, and the bad guys start shooting at the agents, you know, bringing the thing on the car on a roof of a building. He gets out, and they think they have everything. They think the bad guys has everything. They're playing like one step ahead of them, you know. They have everything planned out, you know. They like slide, you know, across the one building to on a cable, you know. Slips into a new outfit, and he's prepared to get into another car, you know. So the teams like split up, you know, and Gabriel runs one agent over, shoots him in the head, and takes the female agent hostage, you know. So while they're trying to figure out where is he at, you know, like they round up a couple of people like in the same outfits, you know, because it was like a diversion, you know, for him to get away, you know. They call, you know, the guy calls him, you know, and tells him, you know, don't follow me or else I'll kill her, you know. And he gets away in this fast car, and it was a really fast car. I think, what was it called? A Chevrolet Corvette. You know, it's a fast car. You know, and I like the line that Forrest Whitaker says. He's like, I got a psychopath in a Batmobile. You know, and it's like supposed to outrun any chopper. You know, but I do like the line he says, got a psychopath in a Batmobile. You know. And that's pretty much like some of most of the time good cuts to focus on this bad guy driving away in this fast car, you know. And that's another well, I would say it's another, another like a problem as well, you know. The bad guy, I know I've seen the guy before. I've seen the guy who plays Gabriel Cortez, how his name is pronounced, you know. But I've seen him in Vantage Point, you know, and Vantage Point. He was like one of the people in the conspiracy, you know. He's the bad guy, but he's not that like a memorable bad guy, you know. And he's busy driving this car, which I thought was like another thing, you know, like kind of like a product placement because you know just demonstrate pretty much it's like did it demonstrate how fast this car can go, you know. And it's like a brand new model of a car as well, and it shows how fast it goes. Guess like that's like a little product placement right there, you know, just to show how fast it can really go. Like what was like over 200 miles an hour. I don't know. This I know it just shows how it's a fast car, you know, basically, you know. So so they have like they try to set up a blockade up ahead, you know, but yeah, Cortez is like one step ahead of them. He has like already people in two vehicles armed with lots of shooting with heavy guns, you know, shooting the police officers, you know, when on a big like a sort of like a dump truck with like a triangular ram, you know, to destroy the blockade, you know. So he's basically one step ahead of them every time, you know. So breaks through the barricade, he gets through. He even outwits the helicopter above by stepping on the brakes, turning off the lights, you know, so they don't know where he's at. But basically, he just stops and just goes forward once again, you know. Um, and in which you later you learn that the female agent that's with him, you know, she's worked for him. She like got the she got basically got bought off by Cortez. You know, Cortez paid her with a lot of money to go along with it, you know. So all that the back in the town, you know, Arnold gets a call by the farmer is late with the milk, you know. That was Harry D. Stanton's character. So Jamie Alexander and Zach Gilford, they go and check it out, you know. They find the body, you know, and he comes along there investigating this ain't right, you know. So he goes investigates outside, indicating that something goes wrong, you know. And Forrest Whitaker calls Arnold saying there's a fugitive, you know. But but Forrest Whitaker indicates thinking he's not gonna go past that town by going to the border, you know. Which really enough he is going through that town because Peter Stormare is working for him and his crew are building a portable bridge across a canyon that's going into the Mexican border, you know. Into Mexico, you know. So Jamie Alexander and Zach Gilford they get there, you know, and one of the guys shoots Jerry, you know, and Jamie Alexander fires back, and all the bad guys, they put like night vision goggles on, you know, and shoots Jerry once again. But he's about to get shot again. I like this scene where all of a sudden Arnold Schwarzenegger he just shows up and just runs one guy over. I did like that. All of a sudden he just goes and runs one guy over, gets a shotgun and shoots one guy in the head. He sees some practical blood, you know, there, you know, and shoots another guy. Luis Guzman gets there and they get Jerry, and they get out of there and they blow up the other police car, you know. But when they get to the station, Jerry died, bled out, you know. So then Arnold Schwarzenegger he's pissed, talking to calls Forrest Whitaker again that because he's supposed to send a SWAT team over and it's not gonna be fast enough, you know, and tells about the bridge, you know, and it's like tells him who is this fugitive, you know. It's like tells him who it is, and like, what? And why the fuck did you tell me that, you know? My deputy would still be alive if it wasn't for that, you know. And Forrest Whitaker's like, you don't have to answer every single detail to you. Why don't you go out and patrol or something? He's like, You know, I do not know you. I don't answer to you. So, so Arnold is pissed, you know, about that, you know, and there then and during the daytime there's the SWAT is on the way, but Gabriel catches up to the vehicles, turns around, drives in reverse, and hits the brakes of one car, goes off ramps off the car and flips over, you know, and disables the other car, you know. So there's no help coming, so they have to do this on their own. So they Louis Guzman's like, how are we gonna fight them with just shotguns and knives? And they let um what was his name, Frank, that's the guy who was in the jail cell, who was a friend of Jerry's, you know, and uh Sarah's ex-boyfriend, so he lets on, he's been deputized, you know. So they get to Johnny Knoxville, who has like this, like I said, it's like a museum, has a whole bunch of guns, even including a Vickers machine gun, you know. So they all gear up, you know. And I like the scene where Louis Guzman, you know, has a sword, which really is Conan's sword, you know, the film Conan the Barbarian, where the old one with Arnold Schwarzenegger started, and that's the sword that Louis Guzman has, and he's like, and Arnold asks him like, what would you fight in the Crusades? And Louis Guzman's like, you never know. So they head back to town, try to set up a blockade with some cars, you know, and Arnold goes into the diner, you know, and yeah, tries with, there's a couple people there that are sitting there. I was like, he's like, we just started ordering breakfast. He's like, it's for your own safety. And you're talking to a 70 something year old guy who's ordered with high cholesterol, who's ordered a big omelet with extra cheddar. Do I look like I'm afraid of death? And he's like, just stay away. He's like, just stay away from the windows. Yeah, that's just like how they're all calm about this, you know. So and this is like the John Knoxville. He tries to cut down a lamppost, you know, to block him. But it doesn't go all the way down. So he climbs up there, you know, and just shakes it off and falls down with it, you know. I thought that was funny, you know. Um. So and the Peter Stormare and the other guys, they're getting ready to go into the town, you know, and Louis Guzman sees them, hides behind a car, but one of the girls who's like the waitress at the diner, she tries to call her, and Peter Stormare are about to take the gun and shoot her, but Louis Guzman starts firing at them, you know. Um, all the guys start firing at him. They get a bazooka, blows up one car, flips over, you know. And you see that first you see him, he's not there except for his hat, and Peter Stormare's like, huh, look at that squirrel, that big motherfucker hat, you know. And then Louis Guzman just picks up his hat and comes out through the smoke and starts shooting him with a Tommy gun, you know. I also like that. He just comes out with a Tommy gun, starts shooting everybody, you know. But it's short though, because a sniper shoots him, but he doesn't die though. He gets like a shot in the shoulder, you know. And so Jamie Alexander shoots that sniper. And then Arnold and the guy Frank and John Knoxville on this school bus. They get that put as another blockade, you know, and turns all the one guy jumps on the bus, you know, and Frank shoots the guy in the head. It just turns the bus all the way around, and Arnold comes out with the Vickers machine gun and starts shooting all the guys, you know, shoots one guy, even one guy gets like cut in half, you know. And as Arnold is shooting, and you see like Johnny Knoxville putting the bullets in the gun, he's like this, you know. That was also a good scene as well, you know. And then Arnold's like, "Welcome to Somerton," you know. And while this is going on, you hear they say that the Forrest Whitaker, you know, learns about where he's going, you know, and learns about who's Arnold, what Arnold is. You know, he said that he used to be an LA cop, you know, but he retired because after like a drug bust, you know, and several other cops got killed, you know. and he couldn't let like kind of like guilty over that, so he went over to be a sheriff here in this other town, you know, live a quiet life, you know. So that's basically what's going on between that, you know. So they're shooting some other bad guys as well. Like one instance where a guy is on a roof and um Arnold goes onto the roof and does no another thing like he just goes as he pushes the guy off. As they're both going off the building, Arnold goes and shoots the guy right in the head, you know, as they both fall down, you know. That was also a cool scene as well, you know. Um, other bad guys, Jamie Alexander and the Frank, they start shooting guys upstairs in the hallway. He was shooting with two guns, but the Frank shoots the guy. Lots of bloody, you know, shoots the guy bloodied up, you know, starts going splattering all over the walls, you know. Or another instance where Johnny Knoxville, you know, one guy starts coming in with a shotgun and he's out of ammo, and then um, Johnny Knoxville shoots with gets a flare gun and starts shoots at the guy, but the guy has like some shotgun shells on him, you know, and starts going off, and all of a sudden the guy explodes in half, you know. It's although it was like a cool scene, but at the same time it was like it was like done CG, you know. That's like a cool slash nitpick, you know. Well, the aspect of it where the guy just goes and explodes in half, though. But at the same time, you know, that was done CG, and that was not the best, you know, as well. So that was like also like a nitpick as well, you know. So cool killing technically though, but also it was done CG and it wasn't that good, you know. But they say that Louis Guzman said he's alive. He start crawling, you know, and Johnny Knoxville sees him, you know. But then he gets shot by Peter Stormare, you know. Um, gets a shotgun, starts shooting where he's at, but he's not there. But he's in the driver's seat of the bus, you know. He starts to back out the bus, you know, and Arnold climbs underneath the bus, gets the gun where Johnny Knoxville dropped it, the big gun, shoots from below, and he shoots once, but then also again it goes through and like takes a piece of Peter Stormare's ear off, you know. I was like, you know, and he looks at Arnold's like, who the hell are you, you know? As he pulls out another gun, Arnold shoots the guy, and it's like the back of his head just goes, you know, back of his head is like explodes, you know, blood, you know, and and then Arnold's like, I'm the sheriff, you know. So then Gabriel comes through though, but he manages to get through, you know, and kicks the agent out, you know, and this is also a good thing. I like that Arnold chases him in this red fast car, you know, but that I think it was like the mayor. I think it was like the guy. Yeah, it was the mayor, because he early at the start of the film, you know, he left his red car, you know, where he mentioned like next it's parked in a fire zone, you know. It's like, well, next time there's a fire, move it, you know. So he takes his car and chases him like through a cornfield, you know. I like this scene well where one is where the car is on top of Gabriel's car and starts shooting from below it, you know. For the instance where they pause to try to figure out where each other is at, you know. But since Gabriel is so close to the bar, he goes for it and crashes into a tractor, you know. And Arnold's car, you know, he ducks, so it takes a part of the tractor takes like the hood of the car off, you know. And then when Gabriel reaches the bridge, you know, Arnold is there and he's like, "You fucked up my car," and Arnold's like, "You fucked up my day off," you know. And he tries to bribe him with some money, but Arnold is not moved by it, so he takes out his handcuffs, you know, put those on, or I will, you know. Then they both get into a fight. And I thought it was a decent fight, you know. Slams each other to the ground, get a couple punches, you know. And you see Arnold's getting all bloodied up, you know, and Gabriel takes out like a small knife, jams into his leg, but Arnold takes that out and jams into his leg, you know, and Gabriel's not able to move, you know. He's so close to the border, but he can't make it, you know. So he's like, "You're under arrest," you know. So as the agents, Forrest Whitaker and his team, they get there, and they see Arnold coming up in the red car, in the beaten red car, and he has the Gabriel tied it to the car, and he's hopping on one leg. So he's taken into the custody, and the female agent, Forrest Whitaker know that he was working for her because he said pull financial funds, it's like someone must be working with him on the inside, so he knows that it's her. It's like, um, for your information, Swiss bank accounts are not as secret as they used to be. So, and Johnny Knoxville is taking an ambulance with Louis Guzman's like, oh, look at that, it's like, oh, that was a big 50 caliber, and Johnny was like, and Louis Guzman's like to hit his one's like, oh, come on, that's a BB gun. And Arnold tells Frank to keep the badge, because that's what Jerry would have wanted. And as they both go to the diner, the mayor is there, is like, Ray, what God sakes happened to my car? And it's like, well, next time don't park it in the fire zone, schmuck. I like the film. So yeah, overall, I like the film. The first half was a bit slow because the focus on mostly on the bad guy, him driving his fast car. Like I said, product placement. The first half was a bit slow. It was mostly on the building up onto the second half. But focusing on the bad guy most of the time. But the second half, I really did enjoy it. The action, got right into the action. A lot of action scenes I like. It was bloody as well. It was worth deserving an R rating, so it was bloody, which I appreciate, some actual blood as well. But this is with Arnold with the Vickers machine gun, when it's where he pushes the guy off as he shoots the guy in the head, doing so as well. Or one line that I mentioned when he crashes through the diner doors, and it's like the guy is like, "How are you, Sheriff?" And he's like, "Old." That's another line that I liked that he said. I did like that line, as you saw in the trailer as well. Like for instance where the short scene where Louis Guzman comes out with a Tommy gun and starts blasting the guys away, or Johnny Knoxville shoots a flare gun though. Oh, like the killing of the guy when he explodes the half was cool looking, but at the same time, it was not the best. It was like the CGI, you could tell it was CGI, but it was not done the best. I like the car chase scene with Arnold and Gabriel through the cornfield. That was good. Them fighting on the bridge. It was like it was a decent fight. Especially that also sounded like you fucked up my car and you fucked up my day off. That was another good line as well. So yeah, the second half was enjoyable. The first half, yeah, it dragged on just a bit. Just for a build up, especially mostly focused on the bad guy and his fast car. Eluding the police. Forrest Whitaker, he was fine. Johnny Knoxville, I liked him in this film. Like I also liked him with when he started with Dwayne Johnson in Walking Tall. I like Walking Tall as well. I liked him in that film, and I liked him in this film as well. He was good. Jamie Alexander was fine. Louis Guzman, he was fine. Peter Stormare, I liked him as well. Eduardo, the guy who played Gabriel, who was also in Vantage Point. He was the bad guy was like it's like your typical bad guy, not that memorable though, but like I said, just focusing showing just product placement, just showing how fast this car can go. It's a new model of a car. It was also nice to see Harry Dean Stanton just for that one appearance, just for that cameo appearance. As that farmer. Also the instance I liked where also the part of the action where Arnold runs one guy over and shoots one guy in the head and another guy, at nighttime, So yeah, I like the film. This is too bad. This film flopped. It was too. So shame this film flopped. And this was the only good Arnold Schwarzenegger he has done recently. Since he came back. In the lead role. And I like this film. That's why I put this in one of my favorite films of 2013. I like the film. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was good. He was very good as well. You know. So it was nice to see him doing like this kind of action film. It was because the title's like The Last Stand. It was supposed to like get like a western theme, you know, The Last Stand, you know, trying to defend this town from bad guys, you know. It's kind of like a western theme. Even like when they're gearing up, getting all the weapons, so you hear that kind of a western theme as well. Dun 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 dun. You know, also it's kind of like a western film, you know. Which I understand because the title sounds like a western film. The music when they're preparing, you know, with the music and when they're preparing getting all the guns and stuff, you know, that piece of music like a western, you know, trying to defend their town, you know, kind of like from bad guys, kind of like in a western film, you know. So yeah, Kim Jee-woon he did a good job with the film, and yeah, so he did a good job with the film. Um, like the pieces of the music I did like of the film. Um, also, the acting was good. You know, like I said, Forrest Whitaker was fine. Such I like that line he said. You know, like the psychopath in a Batmobile. I like that line as well. Um, it's just too bad this film was a flop. You know, it's like debuted at number 9, didn't deserve it. The positive stuff like 6.4 is a decent enough score, but I think it could be just like 7.0. I would give it, you know. 60% understandable. I would give it like 65 to 70%, you know, but those ratings could be a little bit more higher to me, you know, in my opinion. So yeah. Other than those problems I said that I said before, you know, overall I do like the film. It's worth a watch. So that's my review for The Last Stand. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know. It's worth a watch. If you like the film, that's good. Very good, you know, and of course if you don't like the film, it's your opinion, you know, so I'm not gonna judge you for it, so but it's worth a watch. So that's my review for The Last Stand. Thanks for watching and take care and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.